Okay, so what you're seeing there is the fuel tank out of this thing. I'm 100% sure that's not the stock fuel tank. In fact, it's way deeper than the stock fuel tank. Then, I don't know what the hell this mess is. I'm gonna have to disassemble it to figure that out, but I'm pretty sure that was somebody trying to fix a fuel leak, and that was not the right way. And the filler neck's right above the exhaust. So any fuel that was leaking out of that's just dripping down onto the exhaust pipe and is going to cause a fire. But it's a pretty stout tank, and it did mount pretty cleanly up there, so I don't know, it might be the stock one. But without the fuel tank, that means that we can straighten all this up cleanly and cut it out and get it replaced right, and not, you know, do sheet metal with screws and it looks like crap. So, and then to take a look at a few other things while I got that fuel tank out, so follow along. Okay, so the as you can tell, I did take the chop saw there, not really a chop saw, the cut-off saw, you can see it there. Squared that up enough so I can get a nice clean edges to weld a new piece in. So pretty lucky that I didn't hit the brace. There is a brace right behind that piece of sheet metal right there, so that's what's keeping that part straight. I'm gonna have to straighten, you probably can't tell, but this part here is pretty low, so we're gonna straighten that up, cut up a new piece, and you know, try and put this same shape back in that piece before we weld it in. Get that all tacked up and stuff. Now, I'm going to guess the reason that they did that was because on this gas tank, these fuel lines were probably getting crushed by the floor. So that could be the only thing I could think of on why they chopped the crap out of the floor like that. So, this would have been mounted the opposite way in the Jeep. This fuel would have been on the driver's side. But you know, you can see the differential has kissed the fuel tank ever so slightly there a few times. Someone spilled some paint in the back of it. You know, the biggest thing is that this is not the right fuel tank. The correct fuel tank for this was a 15-gallon. I guesstimated with my wonderful math skills that this is 25 gallons. If you want to know what that is in liters, I couldn't tell you because I'm an American and I don't use that. I go to the pump, they charge me by the gallon. So, and then that big redneck, whatever the heck that was just some rubber hose over this adapter. And then this is where the fuel filler tube hooks up to, and it's the same size as that. So I need to figure out the right way to mount that. I'm either gonna maybe weld it on, which I doubt is what I'm gonna do, or I'm gonna find an adapter that goes in there. Because the biggest thing, I don't know if you can see in there, focus you fucking camera. There's a big lip, and then the fuel is sitting against that lip, and it's just sitting in there and rusting that out, and we don't want that. Because right below this fuel filler is the exhaust pipe. And that is a nice way to destroy your vehicle, is just light that sucker up on a good old bonfire. But that's where we're at, and we pick up next time. Hopefully the floor will be done, everything will be sanded. Take the seats back out. Oh yeah, that's what I didn't show, is I put the seats in. Right now the driver's side one's pushed all the way back, but I did move it back, just so it's cleaner and easier to get in here and drive it. You know, 69 people must have been shorter or something. I couldn't tell you. But even my skinny friends, because I am not the skinny man, cannot fit in this comfortably before. So they will be able to now. Reinforce the bracing on that floor, since that's primarily where you can have someone sitting. So it's definitely a lot safer, a lot more sturdy and stuff. So just wanted to mock it all up and make sure our seating arrangement works. This one's not tightened down, but it's where it's going to be. So we did push it a little bit closer to the center of the vehicle, so you're not smashing the door with your knees and stuff constantly. But you know, that's kind of where we're at. So everyone, there's the patch panel. It's not cut yet to fit into the square slot, but as you can see, I've put the sheet metal stamping back in it. And what the sheet metal stamping does is it adds strength to this flimsy sheet metal for the truck bed and stuff. So let me show you how I did that, because I don't have a sheet metal brake, but what I do have is redneck ingenuity at its finest. So this is just a flat piece of stock, probably about 1/4 inch thick or so, and it just happened to be same width. I just grinded the corners so that they were at an angle. Laid this right over it like that, and just spent some time with the hammer. I've still got some cleaning up and stuff to do, but I figured I'd show that off. And then it's just clean it up, cut, tack it in, and move on from there. So guys, I just pulled the float out of this to test it and see if it was working. It's not, but that's not the important part. I'm gonna have to get a new one off eBay or somewhere. We'll find out. But there was stuff rattling around in this tank, so I thought it was the fuel pickup or something, but that right there is the actual fuel pickup. It's not in the float. So what's rattling around in there, and I dumped some of it out over here. See that white powder? Yeah, that's what it is, and that's sugar. So this fuel tank has been dosed with the sugar, and it's huge clumps of it. So I'm definitely gonna have to clean this tank out and rebuild the carburetor and stuff, which is just, it's a bummer. But that explains why there was 2 fuel filters on this thing and a bunch of other stuff. That also means those 3 jerry cans, gas cans, whatever you want to call them, full of fuel are not going to be used in anything I own. That's for damn sure. So it's kind of a bummer. I mean, I've got an axe through frickin' a hood up there. I've got spilt paint and frickin' sugar in a tank and stuff. That's leading me to believe that someone pissed somebody off pretty bad. So if you're the one who put sugar in this tank and put an axe through the hood, you're a frickin' terrible person. Because the only one you punished was me.